What's up everyone, it's Christian here with Reaper. Do you guys want your throwing putters to go further than you think they could ever fly? Do you want to be able to get out and pull out a putter on that 280, 300 foot hole and just have all your friends just ogling at you as to why you're pulling out a putter and then proceeding to absolutely pipe the thing and get it all the way down the fairway? Well, if you answered yes to either one of those questions, and likely you did, well, I'm going to try to break that down for you. So here's the deal. Today, real quick, we're going to be going through how nose angle affects your flight and how you can utilize that and manipulate that little aspect of physics in order to get your putters to fly further. So really quick, I'm going to break down just what nose angle is. And to do that, let me grab putter here. Nose angle is whenever you are on your pull through, whether it's forehand or backhand, it's at the release point. Whenever you're at the release point, it is the angle of the front. Let me get to the side. It's the angle of the front of the disc. So obviously, if you're coming out with a flat nose angle, it's going to be flat. If you're coming out with nose up, it's going to be pointed up. Nose down, obviously, it's going to be down. Each of these has their uses. They're all extremely beneficial in the right settings. Now, what settings are you trying to tackle in your throw, and how does that kind of go along with what you're aiming to do with that particular shot? So on some throws, you might need something nose down, i.e. to stay out of the wind. You don't want something to, stall out, things like that. Or you might want nose up angle because, you're throwing with a gradual uphill incline. You're wanting to throw a putter further. That might just be a little sneak peek as to what we're getting at. Or you might want to throw nose down whenever you're throwing down a grade to try to match the degree of the slope that you're throwing down. Now, I'm not going to get too huge into detail on all these, but I will go over really quick the main differences between when to throw nose up and when not to, and specifically what discs. So, really quick, let me grab a couple more. All right, I've got all the tools I need now. And for this little demonstration, I have 2 drivers and 2 putters. I've got a T-Bird 3 and a Wraith, and then I've got an AVR and a Proxy. And the discs don't really matter here. Stability for this doesn't matter as much. Arguably, a little more neutral disc is going to work for the putter aspect of this, but I'll get to that in a second. So I'll really quick demonstrate why throwing nose up with drivers isn't that good. So we'll start with the Wraith. I'm just going to be chucking this out that way, and I'm just going to get it up in the air. You guys who follow the channel a lot know, for those of you who don't, Wraith is probably one of the best flying discs for me. I can get a really nice smooth S-flight out of it, the whole thing, whatever. But mainly what I'm trying to say is it goes far. So I'm going to actually make the mistake of putting this nose up. All right, let's see if I can actually do this on purpose. Okay, yep, that's it. All right, so, and it's down. Oh, you're over here. Okay, so I actually intentionally put that nose up. And what the disc did is it stalled. And you'll hear this term thrown out on the course all the time of a disc stalling out. That's what happens whenever the disc goes up. It has nose up, it's wanting to climb further into the air, and it runs out of speed. When it runs out of speed, it's going to fall back down in hyzer. It's going to slow down, the rotations are going to slow down a lot faster. So whenever you get that disc up on nose up, it's, obviously coming this way. The air is hitting it, or it's trying to cut through the air, but the angle is going to let it slide up and over more and more air molecules, causing it to just keep climbing up in the air. And because of that, it's going to slow down a lot faster. And when it slows down, it's not pushing forward and falling. Instead, it's getting up and it's just going to stop. A lot of times, really exaggerated discs that do this are going to actually start moving backwards as they stall and fall out of the air. That's why nose angle is very important when it comes to drivers. Now, I'll throw the T-Bird really quick, demonstrate what happens whenever you throw it nice and flat with a driver. There it is. Okay, awesome. All right, so that disc went a ton further than a Wraith. That's a T-Bird 3, it's like a 7 or 8 speed. It's a fairway driver. I just cooked past where that Wraith, an 11 speed distance driver went. And that's because I got the nose angle correct. It was able to keep punching forward well past where the Wraith did, and when it did start slowing down, it was still pushing forward as it faded. Okay, now let's get to what you guys came here for. How to throw your putters further. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate, again, the wrong way how to do this with, let's use the AVR for it. I'm always throwing the AVR in like a really good way, so it kind of feels wrong to throw it badly on purpose. But I'm gonna try to just throw this dead flat and maybe even possibly a little nose down. That way you can see kind of what happens. Maybe I'll put a line on this shot flight. That way, you know, y'all can see it, but yeah, here goes nothing. It's probably not gonna go far. Yep, and that's what I wanted. Okay. All right. Forgive the sniffs. It's allergy season in Ohio, apparently. So what that did was it flew nose down almost, but it was like pretty well flat. But because it's a slower disc, it doesn't inherently have the speed to punch forward. What these discs rely on to get distance is glide. In order to get that glide, it has to stay in the air. In order to stay in the air, it has to kind of want to keep moving up a little bit. So how do we combat that? And you did notice it kind of cooked over, because whenever you're trying to throw a disc hard, you're throwing it fast. Whenever you're trying to throw it far, you're throwing it hard. i.e., when you're throwing far, you're trying to throw it fast. When you throw something fast, if you're throwing a slow disc fast, as I went over a few tutorials ago, it will cook over a little bit more if you overpower the disc. So when thrown on a 2-speed, that AVR is neutral to overstable. When thrown at like a 10-speed, like I threw it trying to get it to go far, it's really, really flippy. That being said, yeah, if I don't get it up in the air, it's just gonna cook over. Now, let's fix it with the Proxy. And in no way am I saying that getting a Proxy is going to help, but how can you not throw better with something that looks this good? What I'm gonna try to aim for here is get this up in the air, with a little bit of nose up angle on the same flat hyzer angle. So the nose angle, I'm gonna want up. The angle that, you know, typically affects the flight, so your flat, hyzer, and hyzer, that's going to be kind of flat. So flat with nose up is going to get this thing keeping moving up, get it in the air to allow the glide to then carry it forward. There it is. Oh, look at that thing go. Look at it go. Smoked. All right, I'll put a number right here in just a second. I think I'm going to guess, because I'll laser it in a second, see how far off I am. I'm gonna guess 230 on that one. I'll put my answer right here. And well, you guys see just how right, hopefully right, or wrong I was with that. I really hope I'm not wrong. I think that's around 230 compared to the maybe a little over 100 that the AVR went. So now, is this going to fix all of your problems immediately? No. Is this immediately gonna let you get out and throw a putter 350? Also no. That comes with a lot of practice and perfect form. However, that perfect form has to start somewhere, and this is where it starts. So again, just a quick recap. For your drivers, you don't want to put them too far nose up unless you're specifically trying to either throw uphill or throw a stall shot, in which case, absolutely do that. With putters, typically, if you're trying to get them to go further, throw them a little more nose up to allow them to climb and then glide out the remainder of their flight. I hope this helped, and little breakdowns like this are some of my favorite things to get out and try to explain, especially to new players trying to learn all the nuances of the game and be able to play better. If you like this, hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and drop us a comment. If this helped you, or if you think this needs explained in a little different way, just let me know. And if there are other topics that you guys want to see covered, again, drop a comment and we'll do our best to get anything out that will help you guys out on the course. Again, I'm Christian with Reaper Discs, and I'll see you guys in the next video.